All right, let's do 8.5 notes. This is exponential regression, okay? The only parts that are going to matter today is doing stat edit, enter, and then typing in your x's and your y's, so your L1s and L2s, and then doing stat calc 0. So I'm going to and then enter. We're actually going to do enter 5 times when we do this step. Okay, so let's look at an example in what I'm looking for. We've done quadratic regression, so it's very similar to exponential regression, but I just add a couple extra questions to everything. Okay, so let's look. In an investigation of the possibilities for fish farming, the snapper were raised in aquaculture ponds. Their ages were known exactly and they were measured regularly. The lengths given in the table below are averaged over a large number of individual fish. Okay, so in a pond, we have fish, we have our X's, which are L1s, okay, that represent the days, the age of the fish, and then how long the fish is, that's my L2s, okay? And so go ahead and label that. So in other words, age is my X's, my length is my Y's, okay? My first question is find the exponential function that models the data. So we're going to have to do exponential regression. So we're going to have to start by doing stat, edit, enter. So we're going to let me see, this part first. Okay, stat, edit, enter. We're going to type in out L1s and L2s. Then we'll follow with stat calc 0. Okay, so those are the steps of doing my work. So let's go to our calculator. I'm going to go to stat, edit. So stat, edit, I'm just going to put enter, and that should take me where I need to. So I put stat, enter, or you can put stat 1. Either one is going to take you where you need. Okay, so stat, enter gets you to L1s and L2s. Okay, I'm going to type in my numbers. So 1, enter, 2, enter, 5, enter, 10, enter, 20, enter, 30, enter, 40, then we skip to 60, 60, and then 80. So that's my L1s. My L2s are going to be 2.6, 2.8, 3.1, okay, 3.1, 3.7, 5.1, 7.1, and be very careful that you're typing in the correct decimal because it's very easy for you to make a mistake. Okay, so recheck them, make sure they're right, and then you're going to go to stat, calculator. So you're going to use the arrow to go to calculator and then hit 0. And then you're going to do enter you're going to do enter 5 times. For me, it's different for my calculator, but you should do enter 5 times, okay? All right, and it should give you something similar to this. You probably don't see R squared or R, but A and B you should be able to see. That's what's important. A is 2.497, blah, 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 and that B is 1.037. I'm going to round everything today to 2 decimals if I can. So round to 2 decimals. All right, so let's see. I know that my formula is y equals ab to the power of x. So when I write my equation, it's going to be y equals, I'm going to round. Okay, so it's 2.5 to 1.04 to the power of x. Okay, so I rounded my a 2.49. 7, that 7 made that 9 go to the next number, which made 4 go to 5. So it's 2.5 in this case. 1.037, that 7 made that 3 go to the next number, which is 4. That's why it's 1.04. Okay, so just make sure your rounding is correct because we'll be rounding to 2 decimals today. All right. Then I ask you, use the model to predict how long the cells will be when they are 50 days old. So I'm asking, if x is 50, what is y? I care about how long, so the length, which represents y. Okay, so if 50 is x, what is y? Is my question. Okay, so how am I gonna do that? I need my table, okay, to figure that out. So I'm gonna go to second, then I'm gonna hit graph, and then hit my table, all right, to 50. So let's go to y equals, well, before I can do second graph, I need to make sure I put this in my calculator. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in y1. So this is gonna go in y1. So let's go in there. 2.5, 1.04 to the power of x. And then I'm gonna hit it, I'm gonna do second table. And you can see I'm gonna have to scroll down all the way to 50. Okay, so I'm gonna have to keep going down and down and down all the way to 50. Or you can do this next trick that I'm gonna write down in my paper. So this is a trick that you can use right here. Okay, so you can do this, and it'll take you to a specific value in your table. So it'll take you to a specific x value in your table. Okay, so what do? You're gonna hit second, and then you're gonna do window. So you're gonna press those two buttons, and then you're gonna type in the number that you need, that x value that you need, and then you're gonna hit do second graph again and go to your table. Okay, so this takes you to your table, right? Okay, so let's look. So instead of scrolling all the way down, because what if I ask for a big number you don't know? I'm gonna hit second, window, and then instead of what I have there, I'm gonna clear it. I'm gonna put 50 where it says, where do I want my table to start? At 50. So 50, table start at 50. And then I'll go to second, graph again, hit my table, and it'll start me at 50. Okay, so my answer is 17.76671. But again, we're going to round to 2 decimals. So let's look. So my answer is going to be y equals 17.67. Oh, sorry, I typed in the wrong numbers. 767, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to round to 2 decimals. So 17.77. And this is in centimeters. All right, how old is a fish if it is 11 centimeters long? If I'm asking about how old is the fish, I want to know what x is, okay? When y is 11. So I'm going to do 11 in y2, okay? And then do my intersection where I do second, trace 5, enter 3 times, okay? So for my steps here, I'm going to do zoom 0, right? Then I'm going to hit second, trace 5 for your intersection, and then enter 3 times. Okay, so this is what we're doing to find the intersection, right? Okay, so let's go to our calculator. I'm going to do y equals, and then I'm going to type in 11. Okay, I'm going to go to zoom 0. Let's see. So I'm going to do it again, zoom 0. Sometimes my calculator is a little weird. Let's see. All right, if you can see the intersection with zoom 0, then you're going to do second, trace 5, and then enter 3 times. So second, trace 5. So let me do second, trace 5. Sorry, mine's a little weird. You should work on your intersections. What is happening right now? Zoom 0, enter. There's second, trace 5. Second, trace 5. Let's move that intersection. Here, and then here. Okay, we have our intersection. It should say 37.7607. Sorry, my calculator is a little weird, but yours should be working fine, okay? When you do second trace 5, you should be able to see it correctly, okay? So let's do that here. So my answer is x equals 37.78. And this is in days. Ok, so para la última parte, para hacer cuando hago mi regression, yo te pregunto cuál es la edad del pescado si tiene 11 centímetros de largura. Entonces yo busco X y yo sé que Y es 11. Entonces en Y2 yo voy a poner 11 y voy a buscar esa intersección. So, la semana pasada aprendimos de ir a zoom 0 después de que ponemos 11 en Y2. Vamos a zoom 0 y luego hacemos la intersección que es el botón segundo, el botón trace y luego el botón 5. Y presionamos enter 3 veces, ¿ok? Mi calculadora es un poquito rara porque a veces no da el gráfico como en su calculadora, que es un poquito mejor. So, tallo un poquito para poder ver esa intersección y para poder sacar mi número, pero al último pude más o menos sacar lo que necesitaba. Era 37.78. ¿Ok? Por favor, sigan los pasos que les tengo aquí. Zoom 0, second trace 5, enter 3 veces para sacar esa intersección. ¿Ok? Todo lo demás que hicimos viene de esta parte de arriba, ¿verdad? Hacemos esos pasos. Es muy similar como cuando hicimos quadratic regressions, cuando yo les di esas tablas y sáquenme la función. Muy similar a esos pasos, ¿ok? Aquí nomás les enseñé un truquito para ver cómo sacar la tabla. Si tienen un número muy grande para X, entonces yo les recomendé que fueran a segundo window, pusieran ese número que están buscando, en ese caso era 50, y luego fueran a segundo graph para irse a la tabla y ven que su tabla empieza desde 50, ¿ok? Eso es un truco, se pueden bajar hasta 50 si gustan, pero a veces es mejor usar el truco si es un número muy largo. Ok, so tenemos nuestra Exponential Regression. Tenemos unas 3 preguntas más en las notas y número 3 yo se las voy a encargar como tarea, ok? All right, let's do number 2. 2, 3, and 4 are going to be parts of the notes. And then this one that says 3, that's going to be homework, okay? So the last one is homework. That says number 3. Okay, when a savings account accrues interest is... When a saving account accrues interest, is it representing a growth or a decay problem? So the question is, what does accrues mean? Well, accrues means you're gaining. So I'm going to write gaining. You're adding. You're adding interest to your account, to your function, to your savings. So you're adding money. So this is going to be growth. So if you see that word that word accrues, that means growth. Okay, so si vemos esa palabra accrues, quiere decir que estamos agregando interés, estamos poniendo más dinero en nuestra cuenta. So esto es un crecimiento. La pregunta número 3. Number 3. If this saving account had an annual interest rate of 3%, what is the value for the base B? So since we're working with a growth problem, if I'm going to B, I'm going to do 1 plus R, right? So I know my rate is 3%, which in decimal is 0.03. 1 plus 0.03, which is 1.03. So this is what you're looking for B. Okay, so mi pregunta era si en esta cuenta que está creciendo tengo un interés anual, mi R que es 3%, ¿cuál es la base de mi ecuación? Solamente busco B, la base. So yo sé si estoy creciendo mi cuenta, que B es 1 más R, tengo que usar esa fórmula para sacar B. Si R es 3%, en decimales 0.03, agrego 1 y 0.03 y saco que B representa 1.03. All right, question 4, last one for the notes. If the equation given is y equals 150, 1.05 to the power of x, what is the annual interest rate? All right, so I'm asking for what is R, okay? And I don't know if you remember from a couple weeks ago that R equals B minus 1. That's your formula. To get R, I have to do B minus 1. My B is coming from my equation. It's here in green, 1.05. So B equals 1.05. So let's do our subtraction. 1.05 minus 1, my R equals 1.05. But in decimal is 0.05. What I probably need is my percent. So I'm going to change my decimal 2 spaces to the left, and I get 5% as my rate. So remember, you always want your rate to be in a percent. If I'm asking you what is the rate, your answer should be in a percent. Okay, so that's why I left it as a percent. Okay, I want you to try number 3. There's part A, B, D, E, F. So there's 5 parts that you're doing here. Let me know when you're done and I'll check your homework, all right? Good luck.